Hello.
Hello.
Jeffrey and I are as shocked as you are that we're live on Sunday at this point. Mostly because we think we don't even know what day it is. Go, Jeffrey. Explain why we're
Um,
here.
well, we're really excited and happy to be here. Hello, hello, hello. And it's a cool day here in Mexico City for a change.
Ooh.
Yeah, we even had a little tiny bit of drizzle.
Oh no.
Tiny, tiny, tiny amount. But it's like 64, something like
Oh
that.
really?
Yeah, that's like the coldest day of the year for us.
Mm-hmm.
And, um, we're excited to re-announce, hi shifting veils, to re-announce our class as, which we will commence right soon.
Right.
Um, it's 6 week class, and Nancy and I both teach it, and then afterwards we have 3 or 4 weeks of practicing tarot spreads, and we're going to be using the book that I wrote as a basis, which is the Shadow or Tarot Workbook.
Yes,
Happy Sunday.
which I will show a picture of. And Jeffrey can discuss for you because I'm getting my act together, guys. Okay. This is the book we're going to be using. Jeffrey
There
wrote
it is.
it. And the way we teach the class is we start with numerology, then we go through, once you know 1 through 9, you know most of the cards. And then after we do the numerology, we teach major the major arcana, the fool, what we call the fool's journey, from the fool to the world. We teach them in order. We teach them so that they begin to make some kind of sense. That's one of the harder parts to get. Then we teach the suits so that when you people hear us talk about, oh, I got a lot of swords, or oh, I see these things, da 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 da, you can kind of follow what we're talking about. And
And then we
we
do the court cards.
then we do the court cards, the kings, the queens, the jacks, and the knights, and they're court cards like they are in a in a playing cards. Playing cards actually came from the minor arcana, not the major arcana. And once you get to those, then you're like, well, what do I do with them? What kind of readings can I practice with them? What can I do that's going to have some meaning in my life? And when you start as young as I am as a kid, all you do is you have questions all day long because you're 12 years old. But as adults, it's like this gives you a framework to work from, and it gives you a path to look at yourself. And as we all know, we're doing lots of self work right now, self trust issues. What lessons do I need to learn? Self reflection spread, sacred geometry spread, which is real important. Learning just kind of the basics. It gives you the basics of the terms, gives you a way to look at things. And Jeffrey very, very, very cleverly put this all together and created it for us so that we can see it. And that's the book we're going to be using, and that's available. We have a digital format or a hardcover format, depending on what
Yeah,
you
you
like.
could do it physical or digital. Digital, you can get it on my site. Physical, you can get it on my site or on Amazon. If you get it on Amazon, it comes the next day. If you get it on my site, it takes a good 2 weeks at
Well,
least.
it's Jeffrey and I'll tell you, when you're a reader, you read cards well. You do not handle physical deliveries well.
And the way the book is set up is really very simple. It's like a three card spreads, or like say five of them, say 4 card spreads, so you can learn as you go. Oh, it's like, well, I don't know if I could read more than 2 cards. It's like, well, once you be able to read 2, then you're able to read 3.
Right. And this gives you kind of a way for us all to look at it, and you can work on stuff on your own. And then you've got us, if you say, that doesn't make any sense to me. And you've got other people in your class to learn to read with. But that's basically what we are we're kind of here, and we're here to talk about kind of how we got from here to there and what we feel learning this stuff can bring to your life.
Well, it could really open up your own individual intuition. And it's really about, it's not about, oh, saying this card or that card means this or that. Absolutely. It's really, you're finding your own voice and your own understanding of the card, and our encouraging you to say, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I like that. And it's interesting because let's say we pull one card, Nancy will have an interpretation, and so will I.
Mm-hmm.
Person A will have an interpretation, person B will have an interpretation, and maybe you hear all four of those and you go, well, I like a piece of this and a piece of that, and maybe I'll put them together and make it my own thing. That's really listening to their own voice, their own heart, their own vision, their own wisdom.
Yep. And we teach the Rider-Waite deck.
Which is the basic deck, which
That's,
all decks are based.
Decks are made from. And if you go online, and I'm sorry, folks, I should have been more prepared for this.
And Rider-Waite is spelled like this. I'm going to put it in the comments.
Okay.
It's TTE, right? It's right in front of me.
It's Rider as in Rider, and the Waite is WAITE. Yes.
And it's the traditional deck that every other deck is based on.
You can get a deck as small as this. This is, you can see my hand. And that's kind of what I suggest people start with.
Yeah, no, I got small. This is
so you can carry them with you, and you can ease them. And that means if Jeffrey pulls out an Ace of Swords, let's say I get an Ace of Swords, we're all going to be looking at the same Ace of Swords.
Right.
And I can't tell you, when you're trying to learn, how much better it is when you're all looking at the same forms. And the reason I've always sort of insisted this when I taught a class is, the first class I ever taught, a woman said, oh, but she said, I've had this deck, and I really love it. And she understood it, but she'd put a reading out, and we'd all be trying to communicate and work with her, and we'd be like, what?
It's like everyone's speaking a different language and expect everyone to understand each other.
It's the same alphabet, but nobody has the same pronunciation.
Exactly.
So, and my approach to reading, and as you know, unless you watch on Sunday mornings, I normally don't do politics. I believe in not that politics aren't part of the real world, although much of what's in it right now is not. But I believe in learning symbols and using symbols in our lives that we can apply to our own spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's real important.
That's really important. And, it's fun to learn things. And Nancy and I both enjoy teaching, which helps, it really does help. And, and then you're going to meet other people who are doing the same thing. And a lot of them have formed their own groups where they practice tarot together, I think weekly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe you can join the group, and, because the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. There are certain cards that, took years really to reveal themselves to me thoroughly.
Right.
And they still continue to change and to morph. And, sometimes I just sit on the roof and I'm like, oh, that's another way to look at pages.
Mm-hmm. Well, the one that got me was Seven of Wands. The little guy he's up, I'm going to defend it. And I was reading in a book, and it said, and I read this article, 5 things you probably don't know about the tarot. And I went, oh, ho, ho, ho. I've looked at these for so long. I've seen every card so many ways. And on the Seven of Rods, if you look, he has both a boot and a shoe on his feet. This guy's in such a hurry. One of the basic tenets of it, you're in such a rush to get up and do your defending yourself. you don't take all the precautions you should take, like wear footwear that matches. And I was 70 years old before I knew that.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it is. They continue to reveal.
And you look at it, and then when you look at that card forevermore, you see, or you deal with people, especially when you take a class like this where everybody's looking at all the images, and they start talking about how they see different things in the images because culturally that item means something different or that sort of stuff.
And that's what we can help you discover. And you know, with the group, it's even
Mhm.
more exciting.
That song you hear is my washer and dryer. When my dryer finishes drying, it plays that little fairy tale song.
How cute.
I know. I had a lady one time, nobody said anything, and I was going on, and this woman put in the chat, my dryer plays the same song.
My dryer doesn't play a song.
Yes. Your dryer dries. That's all I really care about.
Mine is one of the centrifugal things.
Oh, okay. And then you put it on the line?
Yeah. But if you don't put it in right, like the whole machine will start moving. It's kind of fun.
So we're here to answer questions you might have about tarot learning, spiritual growth, other ways of looking at things. I'll point out the other way I have on my table while you're generating questions.
Questions.
We've got questions.
And then, you know, sometimes, you know, you're going to come to a different understanding of cards, like as you continue to read.
Mm-hmm.
Really exciting. That's when it's really beginning to open up. Okay.
This is, I build grids, and this grid is called Miracle. And on this grid is some orange red aventurine. There's leopard skin jasper at the center, focusing the energy. Then there's a yellow aventurine, which is really good for bringing spiritual growth. Then there's red jasper for energy to help you use the energy. And then there's little triangles of mother of pearl, and those help focus the energy in from bringing in towards you, so it comes out into your house, and also spreading the energy out. This was designed for a lady who I use some sacred geometry cards to pull it. We talk about these kinds of things too, about grids and crystal grids, and you learn how, if you 6 in tarot means hearth and home and family, and this woman has 1s, 6s, and then she has 9s because her miracle is to get some things started, be at the end of things to be at the beginning of things. So that's, and I still do those. And that, and Mary, the lady who it's for will get it this next week. It'll finally get in the mail.
I understand what you're saying, Catherine, like seeing the people on the tarot card move as if they were animated. I know what you mean, but for me, it's like I just connect with the energy of it.
Right.
I don't really get visual, you know, beyond the visual on the card generally.
Jeffrey's not in the anime generation. Hi, Dr. Gill. Catherine, yes, but you can see them. You can see them moving forward. You can see them moving back as they line up out, and you have ideas about them. You know, if you look at the 4 nights, if I can get them.
Which one?
All 4 of them, because each one of them is a different state of movement.
Oh, the 4 nights. Oh, how they move and don't move.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good example. I'm gonna look.
And I have a deck that's in order, more or less.
Well, I don't.
Well, this is not a deck that's been
Here
used.
is the cups, and he's moving slowly. He's about to cross the river.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's moving cautiously because he's got his feelings in the cup. And
Mm-hmm.
here is the Knight of Pentacles that doesn't move. That doesn't move. So he gets
He moves.
done
He's
on the
thinker.
plane.
He's the thinker.
And then the other two that move very quickly. One here, one of the fastest guys in the whole deck,
Knight of Swords.
comes in, drops a message, and is gone. Or an idea comes through, like in a flash. Could also mean like an outside influence that comes through quickly, swiftly. And then the best dressed knight, if we can find him,
Knight of Wands.
here he is with his red feather, with all his enthusiasm, with his strategy, right? Moving forward, taking action on a creative project, taking action with the heart, slowly. But see how these two guys are moving really quick? Him especially. And then he has more of a gallop going on. This one is like moving slowly and cautiously because it's involving his heart. So he's like a little nervous, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say, oh, do you want to marry me? But I'm a little nervous, right?
Mm-hmm.
This guy is like the foreman on the job. It's like, I'm not leaving until the job is done.
Right. He's
Mr. Responsibility.
making his list and checking it twice.
Yep.
And you can, if you watch them, you can see that this one the horse has all four legs on the ground, except you can't see the back too, but some assuming they are. And then the Knight of Cups, he's got one leg raised. Getting there. And then the Knight of Wands, the best dressed knight in the deck, his horse is raising up and ready to take off and go. And you can clearly see the Knight of Swords is moving. And that's kind of how they mean in general. But I've read cards long enough now that for me, whenever I'm doing a reading for people, even though it's a little off the wall, they'll get the Knight of Swords and I'll go, you're moving. You're changing households. And I had a woman I'd read for years and she said, you know us, we're never getting married. We're never going anywhere. And we're married and we're happy. We've been where we've been for 7 years. And I kept saying, you're going to move. And sure enough, within 6 months, her husband had such a job change that driving through Dallas traffic became too much. So they moved and moved on. And you get a feeling, you get to see them and you get to see them in certain contexts. And
you get to work with them. You get to understand them in a different way. And then you might have a particular understanding, like Nancy's particular understanding for that card is right. And then I'll have another card or whatever, and I'll have a particular understanding of it. And that's what we hope for you to gain. And also to be open to, forming your own interpretation.
Right.
Of specific cards or specific, maybe there are two that show up together and that means something to you, etc.
Mm-hmm.
I also like when I read, let's say I have 5 cards out and 2 or 3 are the same. They're either 3 pages or 3 knights or 3 queens or 3 kings or 3 threes or 3. I find that that's very significant in reading. That'll really that'll be the
you got a bunch of numbers piling up on you. It's going to change,
and you're going to learn how to navigate that. And you have to be patient with yourself, and it's make it fun and exciting. It's not oh, I got that wrong. There's no right and wrong. There's no right and wrong. Sometimes I have a card, but I'm getting a whole feeling besides because of the other cards, And it has to be read as a complete story. You know, when you put down cards as a story, it has to be read as a story.
Right.
Not, you know, like this has this and this is this and this is that. It's like, well, how do they connect? And that's what we're going to try to help you to figure out. How do they connect? How
Okay.
do they
And
connect? The thing that,
Sage Burner asked a question about selenite in a satin spar. This is selenite, and this is a satin spar, and I do happen to have one behind me. And
it's cool.
yeah, and being selenite can also be, you'll see a lot of selenite that's carved into towers. I'm going to tell you what selenite is. Selenite is just salt that hung around long enough to get pressurized and heated and cooled and stuff, made into a really solid mass. And can you see on this? This one has little white chips all over it. Well, that's before I gave it a bath. This was back in my young years of working with crystals. Selenite, I'd always says, bathe your crystals, clean your crystals, wash them in water. Well, don't wash selenite in water, guys, because it is salt. And that is all the salt that disappeared while it was soaking in the water. So that's my rock lesson for you today. Your crystal lesson today is, it's called Mohs factor, MOHS. You can Google any stone and find out what its Mohs factor is. And do not, if anything has a low Mohs factor, don't water it. But even though this one's been damaged because of me, I'm sorry. Sorry, poor rock. Forgive me. Selenite can be used to cleanse a card. If you had cards and you felt like my deck's getting kind of tired, or these cards seem to have worn out, you can put them on the stone like that, or you can put the stone on top of the whole deck and let it rest, and it clears the deck. It clears energy. So that's another little selenite thing. So, and I've got one for you, Jeffrey. I got a question for you.
Okay.
About the pineal gland.
I know. I saw that. I don't know where the pineal gland is on Earth.
It's at the middle of your brain.
No, I know where it's on in the body, but I'm talking about on Earth.
Okay.
Because I know that you know, there are certain sacred sites that pertain to the chakras. So, for
Right, it'd be the third eye.
Is the root,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Cusco in Peru is another one, and then Ayers Rock is another one. There's one.
I can find it for you. Let me look real fast.
It might be somewhere in Europe.
It's the third eye. It's
Right.
in the third eye. Earth's third eye chakra. Oh, okay. That's why we don't know it. Well, it can be. That's the one that drifts around. That's the one that moves around to different parts of the world.
Oh, no wonder.
I know. From Glastonbury to Shaftesbury in England to El Kuel Malak in Iran and Afghanistan. It's also been known to be the first map I saw about it. Yeah, the first one I saw had it in Glastonbury.
Mm-hmm.
But I've also seen it up in northern Russia or in the Arctic.
Yeah. So I hope that helps you.
Go to Glastonbury. That's been the most universally accepted question. And I'm going to let you answer this while I switch back to me.
Yes, absolutely. It can represent energy, time, rites of passage. Absolutely. Absolutely.
But time is one of those things that's very elusive for us as tarot readers.
Silver lining. to like clear the deck, if you have sage, that'll work.
Mm-hmm.
I use copal because I live in Mexico. Um, Palo Alto will work. What else will work to clear the
I
deck?
have there's a lot because a lot of people can't tolerate the smoke from smoked incense. There's a lot of incense that's sold in bottles, and this is one I happen to have. It's a dragon's blood. I don't sell it. I don't own part of the company. I'm nothing. But you just put a few drops of this in a water bottle and you can mist and you can smell the dragons. This and that's a good purifier. You can get white sage. You can buy some online already coming
What's
in.
it called? Dragon's blood?
Dragon's blood. Yeah. Dragon's blood is a mixture of elements and it comes out of the
It used to,
Indians. Hmm?
it used to come out of a tree.
Well, it comes out of a lot of herbs they mix together. It's a Native American form of purification. So,
Yeah, so magic, or magical.
right.
When it's all one word, it's very hard. Magical mermaid. Yeah, yeah. So the seasons, you could do the suits relate to seasons, and certain cards relate to seasons too. Like the sun is really very much a summer card, for instance. This could be very much a winter card.
Yeah.
Dark, right? Capricorn.
Yeah. But
Winter.
if you're just looking to the suits, I've always believed that pentacles were winter
Right.
because they're very real and you're going to have to deal with what's really going on around you. Wands are spring. They have the little green shoots growing off the wands. Cups are summer. They have all lovely flowing water. And the fall is
Swords. When you
sword.
cut everything down.
Yep. It's time to cut it down. Any other questions? Grab us now, guys.
I like your thumbnail, Nancy. Oh, no, it's magical.
Freedom, yes.
Magical mermaid.
Mermaid,
I
that's
like your thumbnail.
very pretty.
Huh?
Yeah, very nice. What's the best way to prepare your decks before class starts?
No, that's what
Sunlight,
I said.
moonlight, thoughts, all of them work. Whatever works for you. I've never. The only time my decks have been out in the moonlight is if I was working an evening reading. And I used to read every year. I read at Halloween at this one house, and they had a beautiful setting in the outside, and it was gorgeous. But whatever you want, I always take some dragon's blood, and I get to readings before I get there, and spread some around. Yes, you can wrap your decks in silk material. I have that too.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that works.
Your decks pick up energy, just like you do.
Yeah, I did a whole copal thing in the apartment yesterday, actually.
Copal's beautiful if you've never smelled
Oh
it.
my God, copal is amazing.
And in the U.S.,
You can get copal.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've got some copal sticks. They've been aged. And you can get sage, you get in bundles. Usually it comes in bundles if you're getting it to smoky smoke. Unless you get just the incense sticks. And kind of whatever. Okay, let me.
Elbite.
I have a function on my phone. It's called Rock Identifier. And I can put any stone in the world. Now make this be the first one. search.
So silver lining is in other stones for cleansing. Obsidian.
Obsidian's also good for cleansing.
Yeah.
Opalite. It's a form of tourmaline. It is also called rubellite and pink tourmaline. I have some, or watermelon tourmaline. I have watermelon tourmaline, and it's a very powerful stone. It protects your heart.
Nice.
And the program I have on my phone that I can find things that fast is called Rock Identifier. And the reason that I have it is I'm very smart. I'm just not a book.
Well, some look so similar to the
Right.
others.
Labradite. Oh, I just went over labradite with somebody because she had a dream of falling into a piece of labradite.
That's a gold dream.
Labradite. It's also called spectralite, and it's a mineral. It's uncommon. It's a healing stone. Key facts description. Okay. It's named for Canadian province, which is where it was first found in the 1918, I think. It's a feldspar type material that has incredible iridescence. And it was famed by many jewelers because of its display of colors. It's used to create very custom made looking pieces. I don't think labradite's not a faceted stone. It's a stone that doesn't require that. Um, it can be blue, all forms of blue, pale green, colorless, gray, white. And the labradite that this woman was looking at was in a mix of stones that had black stone around it, something like obsidian, and you can see all the labradite features in it. It was very, very pretty. So, which black stones are best for healing? Tourmaline's great for protection, and oh, I reached over to
Tourmaline is the one that looks like licorice, right?
right, and this is obsidian. It's
Yep.
shiny, shiny
So
black.
cool.
But this is rainbow obsidian, and if I take this out in the sunlight, there's all kinds of different colors of the rainbow running in it. You can almost barely see them when I hold it up to this light, but when you see it really out in the sun, and labradite's good when in your work, depending on what you're doing, gives you lots. It sparkles out lots of ideas and energy. When I used to have this on my table after I read someone and I needed to pull my energy back in, you just put your hand over this and your body's just pulled back into the ground. Which brings me to, what do I have around me? I have shungite, which is another very interesting stone. This comes from a crater made 13 million years ago by a giant meteorite that would have wiped out everything within a gazillion miles of it. It's a big Earth event, but being 13 million years ago, there was nowhere there to write about it. And it is the purest form of carbon in the world. It's 99.9% carbon. You can find it shaped. You can find just chunks of it. It's when it's not shined up and polished up, it can leave black on your fingers. It's a stone you can put by your electronics, which is why it's on my desk. It absorbs the EMF energy that can assault us. I also have on my desk at the moment a tiger's eye. And the reason I got this tiger's eye is I saw it in the store, and it was a rock shop I go to frequently, and they said that has every color of tiger's eye you can get. Every color that'll come out in a tiger's eye. So I got it, and I keep it on a little stand, and it's here to remind me to bring balance and color. And tiger's eye is an incredibly intuitive stone. No, I wouldn't put shungite in my pet's water dishes. I'll tell you, I wouldn't put um, there was a time where people were mixing stones into water glasses. They were saying, mix, well, there's stones you don't want to put in your water. You don't want to put malachite in your water because malachite's got copper. You're going to give yourself copper poisoning. I have a beautiful stone back in the chest behind me, and I'm not going to pull it out right now, but it's called vandonite, and it's very lovely and crystally, and it's the sort of thing you want to hold in your hand and look at because it's so shiny. You need to go wash your hands immediately because where it's mined is where radiation is.
Hmm.
So if I handle stones, I get up and wash my hands.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody wanted to know, carnelian's always felt, yes, carnelian is a stone of the heart. And I had a friend who had a palm stone of carnelian, and she bought it online. She saw it in England, and someone had it at an auction. She bought it, and it fit perfectly in the palm of your hand. It's perfect palm stone. And when you wrapped your fingers around it, you could feel it purr.
Nice.
So, and Tiger's Eye does make beautiful jewelry. So, and stones that are made from meteorites are called tektites. I'll put it in. And today that's the stone I pulled for our universal stone at the end of the show I did with Scott, and it was Libyan fire crystals or golden crystals. And when meteors go into the Libyan desert and it heats the sand up and it melts it and it makes crystals, they're gorgeous, and it's to remind us of our unity to the universe.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody else got a question other than crystals you want to know about what Jeffrey and I do?
Yeah. Tarot classes.
Tarot classes, yes.
Tarot classes.
Somebody wants to know about the opals. So talk. I don't think opals are unlucky, but I've never been able to hold on to one. I've been given them and they always get lost. I don't think opals like me, but I like opals. And there's a stone called opaline. And if I get an image of I need an opal in a grid, I'll put opaline in place. Oh, and I've got one more stone question. I promise, Jeffrey, we'll get to the cards. It's called copperlite, and it is petrified dinosaur dung,
Weird.
petrified critter dung. And someone thought they were going to trick me when I was teaching something about working with crystals, and they said, "Where would you put a copperlite on someone's grid?" And I said, "I think it'd have to be a very special meaning, like S on you." You're not late, Lori. We're still trying to find our way. If anybody else has a question about the tarot, what we do, how we approach it,
We're excited to give the class. We're ready.
Excited to get to the class.
We're excited.
I like to have at least 10 members in a class, and I'll tell you why. You give each other a balance. When I try to teach classes, I only taught tarot one time head to head to someone, and he never got the idea of other people have other ideas other than his. So it wasn't. Oh.
And tarot is really about opening up your mind.
Right.
So, and your heart.
Right. And I used to make him, since I was teaching, his class went from the number we were supposed to have down to one through a series of unfortunate accidents. And I used to make him invite a friend that we would read, and that kind of And then later, when I did a class that had more people in it, he came again, and this is when I did classes in real life, and he said he agreed that it's better when it's not just you, because otherwise it's just like a giant reading of you and me together, which could be educational, but not what I really want. Do you ever get messages you can't share with others right now? Yes.
Yeah, me
We
too.
do it all the time in chat. You'll hear Jeffrey and I when we're doing open mic, which I'm having an open mic for questions on Tuesdays, this Tuesday at 1. And, there's some questions. I interviewed a reader yesterday, and she's very hesitant about giving people guidance on health questions because she knows how when she used to, before she realized she could read, when she would go to readers, the kind of information she wanted, and it's probably not appropriate.
That's okay. Silver lining, Yeah, your main interest is self-reflection. That's fine.
Well,
You could
that's
also read,
perfect for what we're doing.
yeah, and you could also, you could read on something that's not attached to you, like to practice. Like, say something on the news, and you're like, what's going to be the outcome with this story? You put the question like that, or what's the truth that they're hiding? Well, I mean, you could apply that to any news story, and then the cards will give you an answer.
Or if you see something on the news and said, that doesn't feel right, am I going to learn more later? You throw that out and see what happens, and you're going to find out you're going to learn more later.
Can you take class if you don't have a regular schedule? Sure, why not?
Yeah, because we tape it, and if someone and we send you the video every week. It's not as good as sitting in the class, but you do get to know the personalities. And then I'm available. We work something out so that we can spend some one-on-one time answering your questions if you have problems. How do you see the evolution of organized religion? If you watch, brick and mortar churches are going way faster than brick and mortar stores. And people are learning that spirit can't be contained in four walls. And weirdly enough, I was raised lots of things, but I ended up an Episcopalian. And when I had a church I belonged to, I still belong there. And my priest let me teach a class on Tarot in the Sunday school on the religious images that are in the Tarot and how Tarot grew out of religion. Tarot, when Tarot was first starting out in Italy, it was read by the priests. It was considered a way to get messages from God. So, and this is true. We need all the healing remedies. And if it heals you, and if it can help heal you, and I do agree with Jeffrey's book about using it in doing shadow work, it can be very helpful. And we already talked about this a little bit. The 4 suits relative to regular playing cards, that's true. And there is a way of reading regular playing cards. I don't do it. I don't think Jeffrey's ever done it.
I had a book on it 1,000,000 years ago. And I never really, you buy a book and you're like, oh, I'll get to it. And I never really opened it. So, yeah.
Yeah. And, but I used to work with a woman, and she and I used to take lunch breaks in the conference rooms at American Airlines, and we read cards. She read a regular deck, and she was as accurate as any tarot reader I was around at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I could never, it's a very humbling experience, because if I'm watching somebody read tarot, I have kind of an idea of where they're getting their ideas from. But if they're reading playing cards, I'm lost.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah, I thought so too. Yeah.
You can meditate on a crystal if it's just the essence of the crystals. And I have a beautiful deck for that. Okay. This is the deck I pulled an oracle card from today. And it's a lovely deck. It's a wonderfully put together deck. It comes in a great heavy box. And Jeffrey's actually.
Oh, that's Rachel. Yeah.
Yeah.
She stayed with me.
Yeah. Jeffrey met her. She stayed at his place in New York. But the cards on here, the images are gorgeous. This is amethyst. Isn't that beautiful? And this is kyanite. And I have not found that her statements wander. And then there's some weird stones. I've seen them in the stores, but I've never gotten it. And crocokite.
What a weird looking stone.
Mm-hmm. And fluorite.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And then there are these kinds of stones, and I have a set of these in my collection of stones behind me. It's called bogie stones, and they're found in Australia. And they're like stones that are joined together, but one side's real smooth and one side's real rough.
Interesting.
They're not made by man. That's how the ground makes them. And cupite, which is it's not you don't see it often. And amazonite.
Mm-hmm.
You know, anyway. So if you were to get a deck of these cards, and not just necessarily this one, but a deck of any cards, you could get them and pull them and look at them. And we're finding new crystals around the earth. There's also a guy, I have his book. He's real good with crystals, but he decided that quartz wasn't just quartz. He decided that there was quartz that had special knowledge. And what it is it's quartz. It was just formed a little differently, and it created ridges in it. So he named it. And then once he named it, he bought a mine, and you had to pay him to use the name of that crystal. There is a law that says no, if something's made in nature, you can't rename it and decide to patent it. That doesn't work.
I think I'm going to patent water.
Yeah.
Or air. Or both.
Or both. Come on, folks. We're here. People always say, oh, I wish I could ask you a question. And you're not asking a question. And Jeffrey and I, like crystal skulls. Okay, the story on crystal skulls. There's all kinds of myths and legends about them. If they move you, if you get something from having them, fine. If they don't move you, actually all they do is freak me out because I don't think they're real. But if you like them, they're great. If you like something that's carved into a shape, say you want to do a grid for your dog or a grid for your cat, you can get a little stone that's shaped like a dog or a cat and include the image energy along with the crystal energy with the critter and put it in the grid. I think that's fine. I don't think people molding them changes anything. But true quartz will form a point. This is dark quartz, light quartz, smoky quartz. This one's really dark. If it's smoke, it's really dark. And it's got the little point on the end where all of the ends come up to a point. And that's a real quartz crystal. That's what makes a quartz crystal. You'll find quartz that doesn't come to points, and so they make them into rods. But once a crystal's out of the ground, when I first got this rod, it was mostly clear. And now every time we go through a universe shift, I find another break in it, another fragment, another flaking. another reflection.
What inspired me to write the book was a conversation that Nancy and I had one day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know where the conversation came from. We were just talking about the state of the world and where people are at, and I don't know, it just came to like I should write a book, and I just fit it into Tarot because I wanted people to have like a framework or something they could actually utilize that I understood.
Yeah.
Um,
And it was about shadow work because you and I talked about shadow work. Shadow work's a concept that really comes from Carl Jung, except it's been out there for a long time. It's kind of the journey of the soul. Um, what's the Book of the Dead? The Egyptian Book of the Dead is kind of a shadow work book. But what it is it's the energy you carry in with you. It's like your shadow. If you're looking at the light, you can't see the shadow behind you, but it's there. And sometimes shadows can weigh us down. That's what we were discussing that day.
mhm.
And people would come to me and they'd go, well, I don't want to sit in a chat and tell people. Now, trust me, if you've ever read our chats, there are people that write about anything going on in their lives in the chat. But then there's other people that are quiet and more secretive, and they wanted to learn a way that they could start to work with this. And if you go to a good therapist, if you go to a good talk therapist, they'll be doing shadow work too. But there's a tons
It's
of
really
ways.
about looking a lot. Maybe sometimes, you have like a certain habit or a way of thinking that you can't seem to work your way out of. You've tried this, you've tried that, I'll try something different, and you keep on coming up against it. It might be something much deeper that you have to look at and, I don't know, let go of, make peace with, understand, accept. That's what the shadow work's about. It's really about
I
accepting.
got a piece of Jeffrey shadow work sitting here in the chat. I remember that your apartment burned in New York.
Me too.
Yeah. But you've learned that what lessons to move forward from that. I guess I think of it like you could have spent the rest of your life mentally hanging on to that fire escape and saying, why did this happen to me today? Not that you would have, but I'm saying there are people.
Alive. I'm glad I'm alive.
Mm-hmm. I visited tourmaline mines somewhere in San Diego back in the 60s. We only have bits. You've got tourmaline in Hawaii. You're just not near. Tourmaline is created in the shafts of the volcanoes, and it looks
Well, they
like
definitely have it. Yeah.
yeah. And there is a lot of colored tourmaline comes out of. Oh, speaking of tourmaline, I do have. Okay. When you talk about how crystals can be all different colors, these are. I had just finished reading an article about different shades of tourmaline, and I went to visit a friend in Denver, and I went into a rock shop. No, it's obsidian. I'm sorry, about obsidian, and I found these obsidians. This is a navy blue. This is a dark blue.
Nice
Obsidian.
color.
Sky blue obsidian. Yellow obsidian. And just been reading about these, and this is my favorite, green.
Yeah, that's what it's famous for over here.
Yeah. And that there's all these, and all I'd ever seen before were black, but yellows helps you feel, it's great if you're not feeling confident. You carry that with you. It's going to help you feel a little more confident. Green assists in the healing of wounds and traumas. It promotes loving relationships. So, if all up until the day I walked in that shop, this was the only obsidian I'd ever seen. And I find out the little rainbows that I can see in this one in the sunlight are actually available out as stones.
Cool.
And tourmaline has the same thing. Tourmaline can most commonly, it's pink, a bluish green or black. Most commonly it's black. Let's go down and see. Yeah, you can ask a personal question. We'll be glad that we can show you how we'd use the cards to read it. So go on down and do that. And let's see what else we got. Somebody, this lady overcame her agoraphobia.
Good.
She got pat. That's a tough one. I worked for a woman who was I used to redo houses, and I was working for a woman who was an agoraphobic, and she didn't tell me that at first. She was just there all the time. And finally she told me, she said, I can't walk out the door. And she, and I talked to her, and I finally convinced her she could go get help from a therapist. But this woman had been an executive with Ross Perot's company, traveled all over the world, and she went into the anxiety attack that locked her into her house out of the country in a foreign airport. And her husband had to fly to where she was and convince her to get on the airplane to come home. Once I walked in the door, she hadn't left her house in 10 years. Wow. It's terrifying disease. And we all hope that none of you have that. Anyway, if you don't, silver lining, I think you're the one who wanted to ask a question. If you want to ask, silver lining, better get on the thing because we got 3 minutes and then we're at an hour. And I promised Jeffrey I'd only keep an hour. What I basically want to say is go to my website and I'll put it up.
Okay, what's the story with the cold and flu in Wisconsin?
This is how you can order readings, or you can go find out.
It's going to go fast. It'll go fast.
Okay.
Because I have a new energy coming in, and I have the sun, so that's going to burn it out. And this is really about freedom and good stuff. And then this is fast. So actually, it's gonna fly out fast. For the cold and flu.
Oh, okay. But take care of it. Okay. I've been concerned about my breathing and phlegm. Should I go? Yeah, go get it checked out by a doctor, silver lining. And I'll pull a card for you. So, Jeffrey, you want to read the cards? You want to put out 5 on that?
Yeah.
I don't think it's serious, but I think it's something they can help you with.
Yeah, no, you need. Okay, yeah, go to the doctor. Because we're in process here. We're in process here, but the doctor will help you out. The doctor will definitely help you out. Yeah, doctor will definitely help you out and help you to take control of it. But I almost feel like you got to go to a new doctor.
Yeah,
like a new doctor. Because you're in fives. Fives are about change. You're in the 5 energy. So
who needs a pulmonologist? What you've got, a normal doctor doesn't see often enough to recognize what it is, and a pulmonologist would.
Okay, there's your answer. Yeah, I got a new doctor.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this question came up. When's the last day? What we want to get us to a certain number, Catherine. When we get to that number, then everybody will be sent an email and we'll all be in the mix. As it stands now, I think we have the class scheduled for Tuesday nights, but if Tuesday night doesn't work for you and you're interested in the class, we can look and we'll find the one that works for everybody's schedule, because Jeffrey and I are so booked up in the evenings.
You have no idea. Oh my
I mean,
God. One night is the opera, and the next night is a symphony. And then the next night is dinner with the president. And then
you're having dinner with the president? Blech.
no, of Mexico.
Oh, yeah, she's great. I like her.
And she dresses well.
Yeah, and your army just killed 2 drug lords in last week.
I know Puerto Vallarta, they're setting Puerto Vallarta on fire as we speak.
Yeah, but it's okay. It needs to get taken care of.
There was some silver lining. I mean, I'm a big believer in the health remedy stuff, but sometimes we need more.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need more, For me, doctors or drugs is last resort, but sometimes we need more. And it's okay.
Yeah, I meditated myself into a 6-day stay in the hospital. Trust me, sometimes you just need more. Okay, and we're going to ask this. This is our last question. The human husband has a rare form of Parkinson's. She'd like to take him to Portugal in 27.
I say go.
Let's see.
I say go. I got this one again, and he's traveling. I got the Fool, so, willing to do something new. I got the 9 of Cups, which is really about the wish fulfilled, emotional fulfillment, feeling comfortable and safe and warm and loved. And then I got this. This is like, it's really a foundational card. I feel like it'll improve the foundation between the two of you. I say go.
Yeah, what I got is, for him, that's going home. Spiritually something in there is for him, it's going home. And you live between your head and your heart on this decision, but you'll come to the right conclusion. And this is look at how, I know it's not traditional tarot. My traditional deck wouldn't come out of the box. This is looking across to foreign places. So I think it's go. You got it too. And we're not in the same place, so there's no way we could work that one out. So I'd say, and talk to him about it, and watch right now, Silka, watch a lot of the medical things, because I stay attached to watching a lot of young, intrepid doctors who are going through, and they're finding some really interesting new discoveries around Parkinson's.
They're finding a lot of new discoveries, a lot of medical things, and that's going to continue with Uranus coming through as this like fire starter, electric. That's what's going to happen. So a lot of medical things are going to change in the next 5-10 years, which is wonderful.
Well, on this happy note, she's a cancer survivor. Yay, silver lining. And it's middle path. And that really is moderation, helps us get better. And with that, we're going to say goodbye. Jeffrey, you're thinking?
I'm reading Chat Cat Lady.
Oh. Well, let me pull a crystal card for you. Let me pull one out. Since I already did this today. And we got time. What else are the 35 of you going to go do? Let's see, for this collective group. And if you're interested,
Are we doing that? Let's do that.
we're doing that. I'm pulling a card.
Okay, I'll pull one too. But I'm only going to tell you if it's a good one.
It's rhodochrosite, which I really love.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And it's for acceptance. And the definition of this has shown up for us today. It has to do with our heart. It's a powerful crystal for self-healing and acceptance. Brings its energy on unconditional love to assist in balancing, soothing, and healing. Enhances self-love and compassion. Supports those who are emotionally overwhelmed. Assists you to surrender and let go. Boy, is this a season for that one. And assists you in becoming more self-aware.
Hmm.
So, and it's not an expensive stone. If you go in a rock shop,
Is it always pink, Nancy?
it's always pink. Yeah, rhodo meaning red.
Right, like rhododendron.
Mhm.
You know, as you're reading it, it felt like that real Mother Mary, that Earth Mother, comforting, loving, pink, encompassing,
Yeah,
nurturing, soft blanket kind of.
yeah. I built a grid for a reader. You and I both know, and although he's Mr. Masculine, Mr. Man,
It wasn't me, kids.
no. I'll show you Jeffrey's grid, and yours is going in the mail this week. I promise.
Yeah.
You want to see what Jeffrey looks like on the inside?
I can't wait. You ready? It's so beautiful. Isn't it beautiful? I love it.
It matches his walls.
Well, I'm going to put on another wall. I don't want yellow on yellow on yellow.
No, but it's doing. But this has magnesite, sodalite, howlite, cherry quartz, honey calcite, which is a stone I love, soothing stone. Sodalite again for a different reason, and mother of pearl. And that's Jeffrey.
I love yellow.
I know you do. Okay, well, we're going to hide the comment. You know how to find us for the class.
Yeah, please come and join our
Interested in
class.
the
We
class.
can't wait. We can't wait to
We're
start.
really,
doing that.
and I understand it's tax season, which is like the worst time. Everybody's, oh, do I owe and all that stuff. But, you owe it to yourself. And this is a gift you will have forever and ever and ever.
I remember I took some healing classes and they were a lot of money, really a lot of money. And I could barely afford it. But, in the long run, it paid off because now I have something that's, I can utilize all the time. And I utilize when I do the IET and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It cost me a lot of money to have it, to do it. But it was worth every penny because it's something, not like, oh, you have to keep on paying money toward it. You know what I mean? It's not like something
Right.
you maintain. You pay the once and you got it and it's yours. And then you could,
And we send you the whole curriculum. You have the book from Jeffrey's stuff to reference to. I mean, it's really, really helpful. And
we love like say the second week, the third week, and someone says, I know you explained this last week, but give me more. What does she really mean? Or this one or whatever. And we're happy to answer that. We're happy to it's really exciting to learn with a lot of people because then you get a lot of interpretations and then you could say, I never thought of it like that. I never saw that color in that card, or I never saw that bird or that tree or whatever. And then it kind of opens and it expands your way of seeing things, not just in tarot, but in the real world.
Right. Thank you, Cat Lady. You were lovely to have you here. Lovely to have everyone here.
All of you, thank you.
I'll see you on Tuesday. If not, I can't imagine what I'd be doing before. I have one lady I'm doing a reading on tomorrow. Doing a garden reading for a lady tomorrow, which will be fun. And you take care.
Blessings.
Bye.